This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Now, I was at the gym yesterday and I was just talking to one of the ladies there about, this time of year things starts getting busy. Everyone's calendars start filling up.
I was just looking up a Christmas party that we're both invited to, and I'm like, oh, yeah, is it that weekend? No, it's that weekend. And I have 2 weekends in a row where I've got a Christmas party Friday and Saturday, and then Friday and Saturday again. It's like, oh, I'm already tired.
You get anxiety about it. I feel that way at the moment. So I was telling her about the things that we've got coming up, we're all doing together, and she was saying, yeah, mate, I've just had such a busy time of late. I've had a few weddings on. I said, oh, yeah. And she goes, I've got one this week. It's down south. But this person is getting married for the 4th time.
Hang on. You can't have a destination wedding for your 4th time round. Are you serious?
You're going down
you
south
just do that in the backyard or at the registry office. What do you do? Go to Vegas. What are you people doing?
Well, first of all, I asked the question was, okay, was it a female? One of your
Is it the guy's 4th wedding? Yeah, okay.
She said, what do you think? So that was definitely aimed at me being a guy. Yes. She said the women have, they're smarter enough to not go through it a number of times. Where this guy was of the opinion that once, he's been married 4 times. So
what does another one matter?
Half of 0 is 0 still. So he's got no cash. He's lost it all before.
Well, Elizabeth Taylor got married 8 times to 7 men. So once she doubled up with Richard Burton, married him twice. That's amazing, isn't it?
You were just, I think Sam was just Googling J-Lo.
Yes.
How many times, Sam?
I think she's 4 and she's just broken back up with Ben Affleck, I think. So it could be on for number 5.
Yeah, that's
possibly.
right. She's available. One of my friends was married 3 times and probably, 3 times before she was 45, I reckon. If not even younger. And terrible taste in men. Terrible taste in men. So she's now said, no, that's it. Never again. I'm not going near anyone.
Do you believe her, though?
No. I think that will wear off. But we have forbidden her from, you're allowed to go out with them. You're allowed to move in with them even, but you are not to marry anyone ever again because you're not good at it.
I can't see. After, was it once shy, twice bitten? What is it? Twice bitten, once shy? I don't know what it is. What is it? Do you know the
twice bitten, once shy?
I'm not even close. Rolling Stone gathers something. Anyway, why would you go again? I understand the second time because a lot of people get married at the first time and it's like,
when
what are
they're
we up
quite
about
young
50%?
and they kind of drift apart or whatever, that's fine. And then as they're older, with a little bit of wisdom behind them, they meet somebody and it's a more compatible match.
Yeah, and a lot of my friends have done that actually in recent times, and they work beautifully. They work perfectly. But more
I'm open
than that,
to anybody who is on the they've gotten rid of their first one and they're available now.
Yeah.
I'm here for that. I'm happy to be somebody's second wife.
Well, why not? You know why? Because they've matured. They're not going to make the same mistakes. Or do they? Or do they?
Well, yeah. I mean, my friend did 3 times. So perhaps it's possible. Sasha is in Hammersley. Hi, Sash.
Hi, how you going?
Great, Sash. Okay. So who's been married more than twice?
Okay, so it's my mum.
Yeah.
She's on to her 4th marriage.
Oh, my God.
So her first marriage didn't last very long. It was only like a few years.
Yes.
And then, so that was my real dad, so he's a flop.
Yeah.
And then she remarried a lovely guy called Perry.
Yes.
He unfortunately passed away about probably 10 years after they were together, after they got married.
Oh.
From leukemia.
Yep.
Oh.
So that was pretty sad. And then she remarried again a few years after that, and she married a lovely guy called Bob. And then Bob, a few years ago, had few heart issues.
Yep.
So went into hospital and didn't come out.
Oh.
So that was very, very sad.
Oh,
and then the last one was this year, in February, she married a guy called Nick.
Are they? And they're still together.
How's his health?
Is he okay?
He's actually got bad hips.
Well, at least that means he can't run away.
Mate.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I think every time your mum meets a new partner, she's got to declare what's happened to the previous partners.
I agree.
Because you've got to weigh that up.
We did try to warn him,
I would
he
too.
could end up on the other side.
I know. Let me tell you a story about Bob and Terry. Poor Bob and Terry. That's rough, isn't it?
That's really rough.
And your poor mum,
really
she's been through a lot, so she deserves a bit of happiness.
Yes.
Let's hope Nick hangs in there.
Oh, let's hope so, Nick.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks, Sasha. All right, well, that's 4. Beth's in Port Kennedy. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Beth.
All right, Beth. Who's been married more than twice?
My dad. He's been married. He's on his 5th wife.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, talk us
he
through
lives
them.
in the UK, and he was married twice before my mum.
Yeah.
One of them was more interested in the opposite sex, and he caught
Yes.
her with another lady.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So then met my mum at a divorced and separated party.
Fun. Yes.
Fun. Married my mum.
Yep.
Then split up from my mum, married a lady from the Czech Republic who
Oh.
was a lot younger than him.
Yes.
Had another child, and now he's married to a Chinese lady.
Oh.
He's very international,
and
isn't he?
is she young too? Beth?
She is a bit younger than him, yeah. Even takes his shoes off for him, looks after him, yeah. He's old now. He's in his 70s.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
it's living
yeah,
the dream,
Oh,
isn't it?
that's
So
good,
do you
yeah.
think? So you think this will be his last wife?
I hope so, yes.
Fifth wife.
It's a lot of weddings. Did he have a big wedding every time he got married, or was it just they diminished in size as he
Well,
went
I
on?
never got invited to any of them.
Oh,
The last two, no, I never got invited to.
That's because he couldn't afford it, Beth. He could only have one person
Probably.
at the wedding. He's carving up his
Probably.
property left, right and centre.
Yeah,
Wow.
lots of child support.
Yeah.
yeah, I know, right? You've got to consider these
Fifth
things,
marriage.
Sean.
Can I just say, I was reading an article on a guy called Bill Belichick. Do you know much about him?
No.
He's a former Patriots coach who was the coach of Tom
Okay.
Brady.
Yeah.
He's 72, and all the stories out on her at the moment is that he split up from his wife a little while ago. I think his second wife.
Yes.
Anyway, he's got a new bird that he's buying an engagement ring for. She's 24.
He's 72.
He's 72.
Come on.
Mate,
no,
surely.
that's not right.
She loves him, apparently.
I bet she does. I bet she does.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Okay, so headed our way. He is playing at the Regal Theatre on Saturday, the 23rd of November. Not too far away, actually. The one and only Monty Franklin, who I've been following on Insta for a while, because it's just great to see an Aussie who has lived in America for a long time, who has not lost his accent one bit. Monty, hello.
Hello, thank you. So sorry you've been subjected to my Instagram. I'm just a dickhead, really, but having fun.
Oh, we're all just kids.
Seems that way,
Don't
yeah.
worry.
And Monty, Nat was showing me some of the stuff, some of your skits and going over the Australian language in particular. I mean, that's what you're kind of famous for. And you're right, you haven't lost your
No.
the
Not,
Aussie accent.
not even a hint of American snuck in. Is that deliberate?
Well, I don't want it to. I'm very proud of my bogan heritage, and I'll just hang on to that. Plus, I hang around just Australians in LA too. There's something wrong with me, but I don't at all want to have that muddled, weird accent that a lot of people get. So I just I try and just stay with whatever I've decided I had for 30 years here in Australia and keep with that.
It's good enough. You say you don't hang around with Americans, you hang around with Australians, but that's not true because you're good mates with Rob Schneider.
I have. I've been mates with Rob Schneider for about 10 years, and he's been just a mentor and a friend, and he's brought me into that Adam Sandler world too. So I've got to
amazing.
go on tour with those guys and hang out with them and, meet your heroes. They say never meet your heroes, but Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider, David Spade, Chris Rock, some of these people I've got to hang around with doing these has been... They're just so lovely, and they've really welcomed me into their world, which is unnecessary, but why
You
not?
take it.
It's so nice,
That's
isn't it?
amazing, Monty. I imagine those guys like Rob Schneider and
Adam Sandler.
and Adam Sandler in particular, they seem so creative. Is that how it is? I mean, you imagine them cracking jokes and everyone trying to outdo each other maybe at times, but they seem so creative. They're always writing and coming up with different angles and different movies.
Yeah, look, it's not a lot dissimilar to you and your mates.
Yeah,
I've
okay.
got funnier friends, I would think, than me, but
Yeah.
they don't necessarily can translate to do that on stage. So hanging around these guys, it isn't a big competition of who can say the funniest thing, but everyone, it's funny having dinner with these guys and seeing that David Spade is the quickest,
Yeah, yeah.
and the sort of snappiest, and then Adam Sandler is the quieter one, but always says the funniest thing of the night and stuff like that. So it's interesting seeing their dynamics, which kind of fits into your own friendship group,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, they're just a bunch of guys that are having fun, really.
Yeah.
But it is incredible that how they do create stuff and come up with characters and point stuff out in restaurants, and we all just laugh, at creative minds that are around at some of these dinner tables and stuff. And I usually just quiet. I just say nothing because I'm better off thinking that they think I'm a deaf mute rather than anything I'm going to say in front of these people. So I keep my mouth shut.
So how did it come about that you've managed to worm your way into that friendship group? Because that is the dream. Like, I'm going to go to LA and then I'm just going to instantly make friends with super famous people and they'll welcome me with open arms. That doesn't actually happen, except to you. What's that about?
No, but you are correct. I have definitely wormed my way in. If anything, I've just sort of slipped in there without anyone paying attention. I was at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood, which is it's a showcase comedy club, and a lot of actors and people from movies and stuff will go there. Rob Schneider was there and saw me, and he was about to tour Australia, so he was asking me a bunch of questions. Oh, will they get this and stuff like that? He ended up just taking me on that tour. That was about 10 years ago. We did the Sydney Opera House. We did big shows, and I just got along with him very well, and we created some TV shows, and we've written a movie together and stuff since. So he just kind of took me under his wing, and his family's been just lovely to me, and I've stayed at their house and spent time with them and stuff. So I just kind of, look, luck is one thing, but you have to get yourself into those positions and be ready when they present themselves.
Also, you've co-written a movie that it's a famous West Australian story, although not that many West Australians know about it. You've done it. You're doing a movie about the Emu War.
Yeah, no one knows about this. This is something we've tried to sweep under the rug, but I'm going to expose it.
About time.
Yeah, for those who don't know, it's a true story. In 1932, the Australian government went to war with the emus. There was 20,000 emus running through an area in Western Australia called Campion. Yeah. And the army came in with tanks, machine guns, went to war with the emus. It's a true story. You can look it up. We lost. The emus were too fast. They were too quick. They ran circles around the army. So myself, Rob Schneider, and John Cleese wrote this movie, and we're all in the movie, and we're filming it next year in Australia. And I'm very proud of what we've done. We've worked very hard to make what I hope and know will be a modern day Crocodile Dundee for the world to fall in love with and Australians to be very proud of.
It's just so
I think
funny
it's just going to be really great.
Clearly, when you've read it and it's on piece of paper, do you piss yourself actually reading it back to yourself?
If you wrote it,
that sounds stupid.
If you made it up, you'd go, "That's dumb." But because it's true, it's amazing.
If you just go and look at the Wikipedia page of what actually happened with the Emu War, you piss yourself laughing. Yeah. But the script that we've written, yes, I am very proud of, and I do read back and laugh. And if I didn't, I don't think it would be good enough. But we've spent a lot of time making this really, really good. So I love every scene that we've done and the story that we've told and the way that we've brought in really great parts of Western Australia that I think the world hasn't seen yet, which is very interesting and fun too. Giving the emu its chance to fly, you know.
Speaking of, how many emus did you train up for the movie then?
No emus. Apparently they're bastards and you can't work with them, so we have to do all CGI.
The old bush
you asked the question though, didn't you? Whether you could get actual emus?
Oh yeah, I've spoken to emu wranglers all around the country and everywhere. We're gonna have a baby emu, and they're gonna incubate an egg for us and stuff so that we can have it at the right age when we're filming. So it's all very exciting and fun. But no, they don't respond to food like normal animals would. Like, come run over this way, here's food. They look at you and go, "I'll do what I want." Yeah. And you don't trust an emu. They've got dinosaur claws.
That's why they won the war, probably.
That's it. They got organised. They had military-style tactics. You've got to read the Wikipedia page. It's so funny. They had these head emus that would actually make commanding officers and tell the other birds what to do and stuff. It was so funny.
Oh my God, they're organised. That's amazing, isn't it?
How did you get involved with John Cleese? How did he come into the circle?
So his daughter does stand-up in LA.
Oh, yeah, she does, yeah.
Camilla Cleese, and I've known her for years. And when I started writing this, I couldn't think of anyone better than John Cleese to play the role of my father in this story. And I told her, and she said, "When the time's right, I'll show it to my dad." And when the time was right, she did, and he loved it immediately. And he said, Would you like if I came on board and did the next draft with you and Rob? So we lived together in a house for 6 weeks in Arizona and wrote the latest script together. And Jim Jeffries, great Australian comedian, he came out and helped us write it. And so it was just fun. So sometimes in life things do fall into place, and it sounds like in this interview everything's fallen into place to me. But I could tell you some horror stories as well of my career. So let's focus. Let's focus on the good
positive, because the positives are so amazing. And of course, you're bringing your tour, Yeah Nah, which is a great title, as opposed to Nah Yeah, which is completely
so
different.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Yes. So everybody, check out montyfranklin.com to get tickets. He's hitting our shores very soon, actually, Saturday, 23rd of November, so not too far away, at the Regal Theatre, which is a cracking venue. Thanks so much for talking to us, Monty.
Oh,
Thanks, Monty.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
New show is premiering on Channel 7 called Growing Home with Jamie Dury. It follows Jamie's family as they build a new eco home.
God, this would be
no
next
pressure.
level.
Imagine the arguments. Hello, Jamie.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, good, Jamie. Well, Natalie just said how the argument, when you're building with family, you've got the kids around. How do you go with that? Oh, you're in the car at the moment, eh, Jamie?
I am, yeah. But look, I have to say, it wasn't the easiest experience, but we felt like, after 5 years of researching all of the best sustainable ideas we could possibly get our hands on, we felt that was worth sharing.
Well, mate, that is a great beep. Have you been on over 50 shows? I was reading on somewhere. And if so, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, I started, I guess, 1998 with Backyard Blitz, and then hosted the first two series of The Block, and then ended up in the US for a little while and hosting a few shows there, and it was an amazing experience because I got to work on so many different types of building and renovation shows.
Yeah.
So I guess pulling all that experience into this show here now in 2024, when really, cost of living crisis is sort of well truly upon our steps.
Yeah.
We need all the energy saving advice we can get, and so that's really what this show is about. It's, we're building an off the grid house, but there are ideas in here everywhere that could actually play into whatever your budget is.
Hey, Jamie, you just talked about that, and it is cost of living that we're all going through, and eco-friendly and power costs is a big deal, as you said. But is the initial cost of what we're going to see you do, the initial cost, quite a whack in the face?
Look, let's just say I'm taking one for the team. Right?
Yeah.
And whilst it might cost me a little extra, the idea of this show is that we expose these ideas, we create more awareness, and then as people start taking up these ideas, the costs start to come down. Yeah. And that it's about supply and demand, right? So it's the first time that anyone's really exposed these sorts of sustainable eco initiatives on primetime free-to-air TV. This is the sort of thing you'd normally see on ABC, SBS, So I think the idea of having this really exposed on primetime Channel 7 means that, these are ideas that everyone can adopt. And the more people that take these ideas up, the lower the costs will come down, and it will make it more cost effective. But look, we went and did a story on one house who had put down just 2 geothermal probes.
Yeah.
And it cost them $20,000, and they haven't had an energy bill in 3 years. They got a check back from their energy provider.
Oh.
So that's it's combining solar and geothermal, which has really enabled us to be grid independent. Yeah. And that's what everyone wants.
Yeah, for sure. Jamie, you mentioned that you did the first couple of series of The Block, and that has given us a twisted perception, that show, of how quickly things happen, like, that you can finish a house in like 8 weeks or whatever. We know that's not the case, and that you had to, you were filming over several years. How long was it, a drawn-out process, and what blew it out for you?
Oh, look, we had a bit of we had a very difficult block, like 37-degree sloping block, lots of rock, lots of unstable clay. So, our shoring up and excavation process was a little longer than we had expected. But look, we've still managed to come in at 20 months, which is not bad.
That is pretty good, yeah.
For for a house of that caliber, it was pretty. We were quite grateful. But yes, to keep a film crew rolling for 20 months is a process.
Yeah,
and
Jesus.
The crew were coming in once or twice a week to sort of pick up all the pivotal moments. But over the last 3 months, 4 months, we've had crews there every day because stuff's moving and changing so dramatically. But it's really cool because you're getting to see the bones of the building and we're not only exposing all of these eco initiatives and 5 years of research, but I'm also kind of showing a very raw look at my family going through all of this with rising interest rates.
Yeah.
And we've had to go back to the bank a couple of times and borrow more money. And
you're obviously living in a caravan while you're doing it.
Yeah, we rented a house at the end of the street, which we thought we'd rent for a year, and we've been there 3 years. So, it's kind of, that's just the joys of building, and I think we'll appreciate it when all is said and done. But, yes, I have a very, very tolerant, beautiful fiance who's been doing a great job, not only giving birth to but raising our children whilst I've been swinging the hammer and laying concrete. So it's been a tough process, but Amika's done a great job. She even wrote the music for the show.
Oh wow!
Oh, really?
She's so talented. Yeah, that's amazing.
Gee, that is
and you say little kids, but you're talking a 3-year-old and an 18-month-old, right? Little kids.
Yeah, but those births are on the show. Don't worry, it's all out there.
It really is everything, the whole package.
Hey,
it's a family affair.
Jamie, one of the things about when you build a home, and I have never gone to your level, obviously, but when it's done, you go, oh, if only I'd have put that PowerPoint over there. Now, how many times have you got many things that
Any
you
regrets?
kind of like, oh, if I had have tweaked this?
Yeah, look, there's been a couple of moments like that, but actually, as the house has evolved, it kind of grows on you.
Yeah.
And we're working with some really talented architects who are kind of thinking 5 steps ahead. And it's like anything, right? If you catch someone cutting their hair halfway through, you go, I don't know whether I like that, but come at the end of the haircut and it all looks fabulous.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can see the whole process. It kicks off tonight, 8:30 on Channel 7. Thanks so much for talking to us, Jamie Jury.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks so much, guys.
Happy days.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
And I want to tell you a story. So I saw this on TikTok yesterday, but then news.com have picked it up as a story as well. So it's about a girl who she'd been with her boyfriend for 4 years. They're American. They moved together to LA, she's a musician and wanted to do some improv kind of stuff. And so they moved to LA, which was to chase her dream. And she acknowledged that. And then after a while, he said, I'm not happy. I want to move back to Texas to be closer to his family. And she's like, okay, that's fair enough. And so she packed up everything they owned, and she said she drained her savings in order to book the movers, and she had a big farewell party and said goodbye to the new friends that she'd made in LA. Okay. And she moved back with him to Texas.
That's
and then
nice.
Waited for their stuff to arrive and then set up the new house, had to rent a new property, obviously, set it all up. And she said that took about another month or so. And so they're just settling into life in Texas. He goes away on a bit of a family trip.
Yep.
So with his family, they go. She couldn't go for whatever reason or wasn't invited. I'm not sure. When he gets home, after she has uprooted her new life in LA to follow him back to Texas, he hands her a note that says, I don't think we're compatible.
After all that, Nat.
And therefore, bye.
Therefore, you're dropped.
Yeah, that's right. Essentially. And also, a note? They've been together for 4 years. That's a face-to-face conversation, don't you reckon?
Well, it is, but also you don't want to get caught up in trying to say stuff and you forget the right words. So then you go with writing it down that we're not compatible, and that's straight to the point.
Just in case you forget the word incompatible when you really need it. I mean, that hurts. Like she said, why wouldn't he have just said it and gone back to Texas when they were living in LA? If he wasn't that happy, just break up with me then, move back. Fine, I get it, that's no problem. But to make her move all the way back again and then go, nah, I don't we're not compatible, bye.
That's one of the 3 strong pillars to a good relationship: compatibility.
Compatibility.
Yeah, it
And
is.
you think after 4 years you would have figured out if you were compatible or not?
Well, you would have thought so too.
Does compatibility change over time?
Yeah, it does. It
Yeah.
does. I can't remember the other pillars, but I'll get back to them.
What are
shortly,
the other
'cause
2 pillars, Sean?
I've forgotten all of them, but I know compatibility is number
It's
2.
definitely one of them. Oh, number 2.
Yeah.
Loving them, is that one of them?
That's probably up there. But that's amazing.
Isn't
You
it?
often hear that people uproot their lives for another partner,
That's
and then
a
it all
bad
goes
way to
shit.
break up with somebody like that. If
Handing
you're
over
taking
a
notes,
note.
if you're wondering how you should break up with somebody, don't do that. Don't make them move across the country and then give them a note.
It's not nice to split up from a relationship or get dumped on the back of you doing something, a good gesture.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And you know what that reminds me of? I mean, we're just talking about moving state, but the Netflix show that you're watching at the moment.
Oh,
what's it called again?
Nobody Wants This.
Yeah, so I watched it. And so in it, what's her name?
The actress is Kristen Bell.
Yeah, so Kristen Bell is looking at possibly changing religions or,
Yes, that's
or
right. Because
becoming religious.
she's in love with a rabbi who's
to do
hot.
that for the partner who's hot.
Yes.
So that would be another thing. What
Yes.
happens if they got together? I've just done a whole religious
Yes,
course
I've
and got dumped.
converted to Judaism and now we're incompatible.
Yeah, exactly.
That would hurt. That would hurt. All right. We want to know that situation when you went, oh my God, now you're dumping me now. You are seriously dumping me now after everything we've been through,
I've
everything
moved
we've done,
overseas for you.
or this situation. This is when you're dumping me. I know it's happened to
That's
you.
not fun.
I know. Cindy's in Camillo. Hi, Cindy.
Hello.
Hey, Sin.
Okay, Cindy, talk to us. When did you get dumped in an unbelievable time?
Okay, so my story is
Yeah.
very similar to the TikTok chick. But basically, I was in a relationship with his FIFO, so he was in and out and whatever else. We were in a relationship. We got married in July of 2020, so during COVID and all that.
Yes.
Yada, yada. Then we, so we were planning on a future and everything else. We were renting, so we thought, we'll buy a house. So we did all that. So in September of 2021, so we're not looking a long time, but we're talking like, this is commitment, we're married and all that.
Yes.
So then anyway, in September of 2021, so basically just over a year, we purchased the property. Now, that property was in his name, which that's all kosher, whatever, we're married.
Yes.
Then December rolls around and no arguments, no nothing, whatever. He comes back from a swing and like Boxing Day and then says, no, he didn't want to come away with me was what it was because I was just going to go away for the weekend, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then I went, did my thing, come back and there's a note on the side table saying,
Yeah.
I'm not really ready for a relationship.
You got married.
You bought a house together.
Yeah.
He's not ready
Pretty
for a
much.
relationship, but he was ready to have a wedding and get married and buy a house. What?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, correct. It's done my head in since.
Cindy.
I can't tell you roll with it, but
So-
yeah.
How did you do? What did you do? What was the conversation? Did you just move out or?
We had no conversation
Yeah.
at that time. I couldn't speak to him for like probably 3 months. He wouldn't speak.
Yes.
But he was, like I said, he's FIFO, so he was away. But I rang, well, he was at home at the time, but then I rang him and I was like, what the fuck? And he goes, well, it's just not working out. And I was like, how's that? So anyway, there's this note. Part of the note was things saying like, I need you to pay pet bond and you can sign a lease and you can do this, that and the other till you find somewhere else to live. And I was like, hang on a minute. What are you talking? So anyway, the long story short, I ended up finding somebody. He sent me a lease agreement and everything. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
What are
So
you
is
up
he
to,
saying
son?
the lease agreement was to lease the house that was in his name, where you
Yeah.
were living? He wanted you to become a
Yeah.
tenant. You could stay there, but you had to be
Yeah.
a tenant of his.
Yeah.
That's not how it
pretty
works.
much.
That's not how it
And I
works.
thought, no, I'm not paying off your investment property. I'll go find somewhere else.
Yes.
So I
But
did.
also, as his wife, you were entitled to part of that property,
Yeah.
I would have thought, in a property settlement.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I threw that at him. What was it called? Asset pool?
Yeah.
I said, mate, give me some time. Asset
Yes.
pool.
Yeah.
But I didn't go down that route. But yes, basically mine was the same thing. No argument, no nothing. He was his decision to move house and, buy a house and whatever. His decision to get married. And then, within 18 months, it's like, I'm not ready for a
I'm
relationship.
not ready for
I'm thinking
a
of mine.
relationship.
That's
You're in a
ridiculous.
relationship. Oh, Cindy.
But we are learning
thank
the best
you.
way to break up with somebody
I
is
know.
write them a note.
Is a note, yeah.
So write that down, everyone. Literally.
Brooke's in Atwell. Morning, Brooke.
Good morning.
Okay, Brooke.
Brooke.
I know these are sad stories, Brooke. What have you got for us?
Okay, so mine's not really
as bad as moving across the country or anything, but I got broken up with on Christmas.
Oh. How long have you been
What did
together,
you do
Brooke?
to the ham that caused that to happen?
Yes, so we were together for 3 years, but he was of that certain religion that didn't celebrate Christmas.
Oh,
Yes.
okay,
So
yes.
we were actually going down to Esperance before Christmas just to go for a holiday there.
Yes.
And halfway down, he turned around and said, I think we need a break. And I was like, are you kidding?
We're in Lake Grace.
Halfway
What are we
down
going to do? What do I get out of the car here? It is a long drive, to be fair. It
gonna
would
climb-
test the best
climb
of
Bluff Knoll?
relationships, but still.
Yeah. So we were living in a town 4 hours away at
Yeah.
the time. So
Yes.
turned
Okay.
around, took me back to that town.
Kalgoorlie,
all right,
obviously, yes.
Yeah,
Keep going.
yeah. And I just, I was like, I'll just go down to Perth then because my family are down here, my friends down here. Come down for a couple of days, and then so I spent Christmas, and then I got a text, or I texted him saying, okay, I'm ready to come home, and then he texted me and said, oh no, it's not going to work.
It's not going to... The old classics of we need a break.
I know, and it's not going to work.
Yep.
Do you think that was...
So you can't do that in the middle of a road trip on your holiday. Pick a better time than that to say we
Yeah.
need a break. It's like, because
Christmas
then you've
time,
got
yeah.
to sit next to him for the next 2 hours while he drives you back
no,
again.
There's a whole lot of
It's
known
a very
people.
awkward
Yeah.
silence.
It was.
Oh,
yeah.
Brooke.
So,
You've
yeah.
moved on, though, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Good
She's
girl.
a good catch, Brooke.
Yeah, she is.
I like that guy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brooke. Brendan's in Applecross. Hello.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, Brendan.
Okay, we're talking about being dumped hard at a really bad time. What happened?
I met a young lady when I was travelling in England, a South African girl, and we got together, decided to move back to Australia, so she came back with me as my de facto.
Yep.
We set up house, I bought her a car, got her all set up. So in January, we bought an apartment together.
Nice.
Her permanent residency came through around Australia Day, 26th of January, something around that.
Yep.
And then on Valentine's Day, she decides to break up with me.
Oh, 2.5 weeks later.
2.5. And the part that really stung the most is the apartment that we bought together. When we had to separate, she didn't want the value of what we paid for it, even though we only owned it for 3 weeks. She wanted market value of $60,000 more than what we bought it for.
Oh, that is an absolute stitch up, Brendan.
So I had to pay that extra 30 grand just to break up with her.
That's a little.
And Brendan, the Valentine's Day, how did that? Had you organised something special? Like what happened on?
No, I had to work. So 'cause I work in hospitality, and she went out and never came home. I rang all her friends, and the next day, and about 4 o'clock the next day, she said that she'd been with somebody else and she wasn't coming back.
Brendan.
Yeah, heartbreaking.
Okay.
Brendan.
Well, I would
Total
say
stitch up.
I know that it cost you that $30,000, but I would say you
Money well spent?
Yeah, that's right. That you're better off without her. That's for sure.
Brendan, have you moved on? You got any fresh gear these days?
Oh, yes. No, well, I met my wife pretty much straight away.
There you go.
Oh, see, that was meant to be. Yeah, it was just a bad chapter. Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for the stories, everybody.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat, and Shaun.
Alana King, the superstar, has joined us this morning. How you going, Alana?
Great, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I just asked you if you're just over in Dubai, where Australia got knocked out in the semi-finals. A lot of injuries. So it didn't quite go your way to start things off.
No, unfortunately. Just South Africa were really outplayed us on the day and not meant to be for us, but glad that our Scorchers captain, Soph Devine, got the win and held the cup at the end of the day.
I know, New Zealand getting the victory. I saw her celebrating.
Well, because it's Soph, we are happy about that.
Okay, we'll allow it.
Yeah, so we'll allow it this time.
She's brutal at the top of the order for the Scorchers. She's great to have in the team.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to see her. Obviously, she'll miss the first game. She's actually playing HEMA, our other international, in a series in India at the moment. So one game short, but then we'll see you next week in Melbourne.
I'll get back to the Scorchers in a second, but I always wonder, because you see the men and also the women playing over in Dubai, and obviously that's a central hub for people in Asian countries to come around and play. What is it like, and what do they...
I'm guessing
you get
hot.
to games in Lamborghinis and stuff, and
well, put it
or
this
ride
way,
on a camel in there or something.
Their Ubers over here are Ubers are generally a Toyota Camry, and their Ubers are Lexuses. So,
right.
So that just we were riding in style everywhere we went when we had to catch an Uber, but no, very hot, very humid, conditions we were pretty foreign to. So it took a couple of days to get used to, probably I would say the whole tournament to get used to.
So what sort of temperatures are you talking about that you're standing out in during the game?
Oh, lucky we only had one day game, but during the day game it was about 37, 38 degrees, but
and
high humidity.
Oh,
so,
gross.
Yeah, humidity and my hair don't go well.
Mine either. I hear you, sister.
Well, wasn't my cup of tea, but we got through.
In Dubai, like a lot of the Asian countries, there's a lot of spin in the wickets, and I know this is not a typical cricketing nation. Is there turn on those wickets? Are they flatter?
No, there is plenty of turn, especially Dubai Stadium. There was more conducive to turn, and then when we played at Sharjah, a bit slower but still turn. So off pace definitely worked a lot throughout the World Cup, and you just saw many fast bowlers as well use their change of pace, but spin dominated.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're looking forward to the Scorchers, as I said, getting underway on Sunday against the Melbourne Stars. The last few years have been pretty good. I mean, last year didn't quite finish off the way we did the previous year, but how's the team looking? There's been a couple of changes, but you still got Beth Mooney there, a couple of Aussie players, including yourself, in the lineup. It's not bad. No,
not bad at all. No, we've got a fair few new faces, actually, which is, I think, a good thing for our club at the moment. They bring a bit of energy, new faces around, obviously help spice everything up as well. And no, everyone's looking forward to it. Hopefully we get to the finals again. Last year was a nice tick to get back into the finals, and yeah, we're striving to get to that last day.
What do you do for bonding? What have you been doing to get to know the new girls?
Bonding. Well, it's a quick turnaround. So yesterday we had our induction, and what better way to bond people over food? So we,
that's good.
Shout out to the outdoor chef for hosting us and put on a great spread for us yesterday.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Met everyone. Actually, not everyone was there. Moons wasn't there. Soph and Hema weren't there. So pretty much you bond on the field, I guess. So we'll go from that.
We always bond in here with our team on food.
Food brings us together.
So we've had breakfast this morning, and I'm not sure if you heard before, but it was our boss's birthday, and he didn't tell anyone yesterday.
And then he just smirked at us every time he saw us because he's just waiting for us to say happy birthday to him, which we didn't. So in return, we made him buy us breakfast. That's fair, isn't it?
That's very fair.
Yeah, good, great.
Do you do anything to rookies when they come into the team? Do you make them, I don't know, carry your bags or buy you something?
No, that's a bit stiff.
That's called bullying, Sean. Yeah. We're not about that.
I think the girls are a bit nicer than the blokes, but no, we're a very welcoming team, and we just want to make sure everyone has a lot of fun whilst they're here.
Who's the team to beat this year?
Oh, geez.
Scorchers is the answer. Scorchers.
No, we're going to be up there.
Play ourselves.
The mention the win. WA cricket's just too good.
Yeah, I know.
I would say Adelaide Strikers. They've been the best team for the last couple of years. Obviously, they've won a few titles on the trot now, so it's always a good battle against them. But I think every team, everyone's well balanced. I think. I think it's just going to be a very interesting tournament, and I think the Strikers will definitely be the ones to beat.
What I'm impressed about, Alana, is the fact that, where I walk the dog is a junior cricket club, and the number of girls now that are in those nets. I saw a girl there the other day on her own. It wasn't a training session, practicing her bowling, like she was, coming off the long run up. She was really powering it in. The girls, the young, the up and comers, we are going to see a whole generation now of skilled cricketers coming through because of you guys. That it's what they say, if you can't see it, you can't be it. People are looking at you guys and going, there is something to aspire to here. There's a real sort of wave of new talent coming through, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's credit to what Cricket Australia have done in the grassroots programs, and just having all girls tournaments and all girls teams. That's something that most of us girls who are my age didn't experience.
So what was it like for you as a kid playing cricket?
I played with the boys, which I actually loved, and I actually quite encouraged some of the girls.
Did they love it when you got them out? Did they love that?
Oh, you could say they loved it maybe at the slightest, but I loved it more than they did.
Yeah, I bet.
I think it was awesome to play with the boys. I think that helped with my development.
Sure.
Obviously, they're bigger, they're stronger. So, it fast-tracked my development. And I still encourage girls these days, if they have the confidence and they want to keep pushing themselves to play with the boys, because they're going to learn a lot quicker. Boys are just a lot more skillful at that age. having stronger bodies around, hitting the ball harder, bowling faster, I think is going to help.
Why was it cricket for you? What drove you into the sport in the first place?
Oh, I had to be a net bowler to my brother in the backyard.
Yeah.
So
it's a common thread, isn't it?
Yeah, so he'll claim that he's helped me get to where
that's
I
right.
am.
He's the wind beneath your wings.
Yeah, exactly. Every time I wanted a bat, he'd get me out like second ball because you can't get out first ball in the backyard.
Of course. Yeah.
And then I'd have to bowl to him all afternoon. So it wasn't great. But.
And why spin bowling? Was it the Sheikah tweak, Shane Warne?
It was, yeah. He was the forefront of my TV every summer, and growing up Victoria, I got to see him at the MCG and playing on Boxing Day as well. So, Warnie was a big part in why I picked spin bowling. He made batters look fun, look stupid, really.
He did.
Made it look a lot of fun, whereas spin bowling wasn't really fun. Everyone wanted to come in and
It's a lot less running involved, so that's nice.
I agree. So another reason why I do spin bowling.
What are your hands like? Do you have all calluses and stuff on your fingers from the... ripping the seam?
Yeah, like the spinning finger will always have a bit of a callus, but no, I've got pretty small hands and small person as you alluded to before.
Pocket rocket is what I said. Yes.
Great, I'll
Get some
take
talk
that.
on the ball. And I want to ask you, do you have any special deliveries that you name? Like Warnie used to come out, it was almost like so much he's working on another one.
The
There's
Zooter
sliders,
and that,
all these different names to deliveries. What's your go-to?
Nah, I don't have any names for my deliveries. I go with the stock standard names. Maybe he invented it, I don't know. But just the top spinner, obviously bowling at the whacker, a lot more bounce, and that's what I've learned to do whilst I moved over here. So I'll stick to my ripping leg spin and my top spinner.
Well, we look forward to you dominating
As
this
a Victorian,
summer.
any divided loyalties going up against Melbourne this weekend?
No, you've been with us for a while.
I have, and they are my old team. So I always like to get the win over
them.
Correct. So Sunday's no different.
Yep, it's going to be at 5:30 at the Wacker. It'll go off. That's just brilliant. Thanks for coming in, Alana.
Thanks for having me.
Champion. Have a great season.
Thank you.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.